Asterisk, a mother always knows. Even before the world speaks, before words are formed, before pain shows on a face, a mother feels it in a heartbeat. In a small, quiet town where mornings smelled of dust and prayers, lived Amina and her son Ethan. Amina was not rich. She did not own gold, land, or power. But she owned something greater, a heart that beat only for her son. From the moment Ethan was born, Amina's life stopped being hers. When he cried, she forgot her sleep. When he smiled, she forgot her pain. When he walked his first step, her knees trembled not from weakness but from fear that one day he would walk away. Ethan grew up watching his mother work endlessly. She stitched clothes late into the night, her fingers bleeding silently. She skipped meals so he could eat fully. She smiled in front of him, even when her heart was breaking, and every night, she placed her hand on his chest as he slept, listening to his heartbeat. That sound, she would whisper, is my reason to live. Asterisk, Ethan was different from other boys. He was gentle, he was kind, and he loved his mother deeply. One rainy evening when he was only 10, he saw Amina crying quietly in the kitchen. Her shoulders shook, but her voice made no sound. "Ami, why are you crying?" he asked. Amina wiped her tears quickly and forced a smile. "I'm not crying, my son." Smoke went into my eyes. Ethan knew she was lying. He hugged her tightly and said words that would echo through time. "When I grow up, I will never leave you. I will become your strength. I promise." Amina held him closer, her heart pounding. She did not answer because a mother knows. Promises made by children are often broken by life. Asterisk, years passed. Ethan grew into a young man, educated, ambitious, respected. Opportunities knocked on his door. One day he came home holding a letter. "Ami," he said softly, "I got a job offer. In another country." Amina felt her heartbeat skip. Her smile froze. Her hands trembled. Her world shook, but she stayed silent. "That's wonderful," she finally said. "You worked hard for this." Ethan looked into her eyes, searching for permission or forgiveness. "I'll come back," he added quickly. "I promise. This is only for some years." Amina nodded, but that night, she could not sleep. She placed her hand on her own chest. Her heartbeat was heavy, slow, painful. A mother always knows. Asterisk, at first, Ethan called every day. "Ami, did you eat? Ami, how is your health? Ami, I miss you." Amina waited for those calls like a prayer, but days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Calls became shorter, then rarer. Life became busy for Ethan. Loneliness became permanent for Amina. She still cooked his favorite food, still folded his old clothes, still slept on her side of the bed, leaving space for him. And every night, she pressed her hand against her chest and whispered, "My son, can you still hear my heartbeat?" Asterisk, Amina started feeling pain. Sharp pains, breathless nights, her heart growing weaker. The doctor warned her gently, "You must not stress yourself. Your heart is fragile." She smiled and replied, "A heart that raised a son is never weak." She never told Ethan. Why? Because a mother would rather suffer alone than become a burden to a child. Asterisk, every morning, Amina sat near the window, waiting. Every evening, she checked her phone. Every night, she prayed, "Ya Allah." She whispered, "Let me hear his voice once more, before my heart stops." Asterisk, every morning, Amina sat near the window, waiting. Every evening, she checked her phone. Every night, she prayed, "Ya Allah." She whispered, "Let me hear his voice once more, before my heart stops." Asterisk, Ethan was sitting in his office when his phone vibrated. He glanced at the screen. "Ami, voice message 142. He frowned slightly. "I'll listen later," he murmured, placing the phone face down. Deadlines were waiting. Meetings were endless. Life was busy. A mother's voice can wait. Or so he thought. That night, Ethan returned to his apartment late. The city lights outside his window were bright, but his room felt empty. He checked his phone again. No missed calls. No new messages. Something felt strange. Normally, his mother would send a simple text. "Did you eat? Are you home safe?" Tonight, nothing. She must be asleep, he told himself. He lay on his bed, scrolling aimlessly, ignoring the voice message once again. Unknowingly, he had already missed the most important moment of his life. Asterisk, Amina lay on the cold floor. Her body was weak, her breath shallow, her heart struggling. The phone lay inches away from her hand. She looked at it one last time. No response. A tear slid from the corner of her eye. "Maybe he is busy," she whispered faintly. "My son works so hard." Even in her final moments, she defended him. Her heartbeat slowed. The house once filled with her prayers fell into complete silence. Asterisk, the next morning, Ethan woke up late. As he brushed his teeth, his phone rang. An unknown number. "Hello," he answered impatiently. There was a pause, then a trembling voice. "Is this Ethan, son of Amina?" "Yes," he replied. "Who is this?" Another pause, longer this time. "I am your neighbor," the voice said softly. "I'm sorry, your mother. She passed away last night." The world stopped. "What?" Ethan whispered. "That's not possible. I spoke to her yesterday." The voice cracked. She waited, but her heart could not wait any longer. The call ended. Ethan stared at the mirror. His reflection looked unfamiliar. His hands began to shake. No, he repeated, backing away. Asterisk with trembling fingers. Ethan unlocked his phone. He opened the unread message. His mother's voice filled the room, weak, slow, yet warm. My son, I know you are busy. I don't want to disturb you. My heart feels tired today. But don't worry, Amy is strong. I just wanted to hear your voice, even for a moment. If I don't get the chance again, remember every beat of my heart prayed for you. I am proud of you, my son, always. The message ended. Ethan dropped the phone. He screamed, a sound that came from deep inside his soul. I'm sorry, Amy, he cried, collapsing to the floor. I should have listened. I should have called. But apologies are useless when the one you owe them to is gone. Ethan booked the earliest flight. The airport felt endless. Time felt cruel. Every step echoed with regret. Why didn't I call? Why did I think there would be more time? On the plane, memories attacked him. His mother feeding him with her own hands. Her waiting at the door for him. Her heartbeat he used to sleep on as a child. Tears soaked his shirt. Passengers stared. But he didn't care. A son had lost his mother. When Ethan reached home, the house felt dead. No smell of food. No sound of prayer. No voice calling his name. Neighbors stood silently, someone said. She kept looking at the door, as if waiting for you. Those words stabbed him. Ethan walked into his mother's room. Her bed was neatly made. Her prayer mat lay folded. On the table was a small notebook. He opened it. Inside, every page mentioned only one thing. Ethan likes sweet tea. Ethan's favorite shirt needs stitching. Pray for Ethan's safety. Not once did she write about herself. At the graveyard, Ethan stood frozen. The soil was still fresh. This is not real, he whispered. She will call me. She always does. But the grave remained silent. He knelt down, pressing his ear to the earth as if searching for something impossible. I can't hear it, he cried. Amy, I can't hear your heartbeat. The wind blew softly. But mothers do not answer from graves. That night, Ethan lay alone in his childhood room. He placed his hand on his chest. His heart was beating fast, heavy. For the first time, he understood a mother's heartbeat does not stop when she dies. It moves inside her child. Tears streamed down his face. Amy, he whispered into the darkness, how do I live without you? Grief does not come all at once. It arrives slowly, like a shadow that follows you everywhere. Ethan stayed in his childhood, home after the funeral. The same walls that once echoed with laughter now whispered only silence. Every corner reminded him of his mother. Her slippers near the door, her shawl hanging behind the cupboard, the small crack in the wall she used to touch while walking. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run, but grief does not let you escape. In the mornings, Ethan woke up suddenly, expecting to hear his mother calling his name. Ethan, breakfast is ready. But there was only silence. He sat at the dining table alone. 2 plates were placed out of habit. One remained untouched. His throat tightened. I forgot you're not here, he whispered. The spoon slipped from his hand. The sound echoed loudly, as if the house itself was crying. Ethan went through his mother's belongings. Every item carried her presence. Her old sewing box, needles carefully arranged, threads wrapped neatly. A small medicine bottle half used. His hands trembled. She was sick, and I didn't know, he murmured. Anger rose inside him, not at her, at himself. You taught me everything, he said aloud, but I forgot the most important lesson, to be there. One evening, Ethan sat by the window, the same spot where Amina used to wait. He opened her notebook again. This time, he read it slowly. One page stopped him cold. If my son is reading this someday, please forgive me if I ever failed you. Everything I did was for your happiness. Ethan pressed the notebook to his chest. You never failed me, Amy, he cried. I failed you. His heart beat hard, as if reminding him of something that night. Ethan couldn't sleep. He lay on the floor staring at the ceiling. Suddenly, he remembered as a child, when he had nightmares, his mother would pull him close and say, listen to my heartbeat. As long as it beats, nothing will happen to you. Ethan sat up. He placed his ear against his own chest. Thump, thump, thump. Tears streamed down his face. This is you, he whispered. You're still here, inside me. For the first time since her death, he felt both pain and comfort together. Days passed. People visited to offer condolences. Asterisk, they said the same words. She lived a good life. She was proud of you. Be strong. But no one talked about the loneliness she endured. No one talked about the nights she waited. Ethan stopped replying. He avoided calls. He avoided friends. Because happiness now felt like betrayal. Asterisk, one afternoon, Ethan walked to the small park near their house. His mother used to sit there every evening. He sat on the same bench. The same tree swayed gently. He closed his eyes. I'm here, Amy, he whispered. Like you asked. A breeze passed by. For a moment he felt her presence, soft, warm, familiar. His heart slowed almost in rhythm. A neighbor approached him quietly. Your mother gave me this, she said, handing him an envelope. She asked me to give it to you when you return. Ethan's hands shook. He opened it carefully. Inside was a letter, written in familiar handwriting. My dear son, if you are reading this, it means I am no longer there to scold you or wait for you. Do not cry too much. A mother's happiness is in her child's smile. Live fully. Love deeply. And whenever you feel alone, place your hand on your heart, I will be there. The letter fell from his hands. Ethan wept like a child. That night, Ethan made a decision. He stood in front of his mother's photograph. I won't let your sacrifice be forgotten, he said firmly. I will live a life that honors your heartbeat. But deep inside, he knew the hardest part was yet to come, because living without a mother is a pain that never truly heals. Pain can destroy a person, or it can change them. Ethan stood in the small room that once belonged to his mother. Her photograph rested on the shelf, her gentle smile frozen in time. I don't know how to live without you, he said softly, but I will try, the way you taught me. His heart beat steadily. For the first time, it did not feel like guilt alone, it felt like responsibility. Ethan returned to the country where he worked, but this time, he was not the same man. He was quieter, slower, more thoughtful at the airport. While others rushed, he paused. He placed his hand on his chest. Guide me, Ami, he whispered. The plane took off, but his roots stayed behind. One evening, Ethan visited a small hospital near his apartment. An old woman sat alone in the waiting area, clutching her bag. Her eyes reminded him of someone. He sat beside her. Are you waiting for someone? He asked gently. She smiled sadly. My son works abroad. He couldn't come. Ethan's chest tightened. He paid her medical bill quietly as he walked away. He heard his mother's voice in his heart. When you help someone, you help me. Tears filled his eyes, but this time, they were warm. Months later, Ethan returned home again. He sold his car. He used his savings. People were confused. Why are you doing this? They asked. He answered simply, my mother waited her whole life. Now it's my turn to give. With the help of neighbors, Ethan opened a small care center for elderly mothers, women whose children were far away, too busy, or gone. On the wall, he placed a simple line. A mother's heartbeat never dies. Every day he served food. Every day he listened to stories. And every day he felt closer to her. Some nights were still hard. Grief returned unexpectedly in smells, in songs, in silence. Ethan would sit alone and speak to her photo. I wish I had one more call, he whispered, one more chance to say I love you. His heart ached, but it did not break anymore because pain, when shared, becomes strength. One afternoon, a young boy at the center asked him, Uncle, why do you help all these mothers? Ethan knelt down and smiled gently. Because one mother loved me enough for a lifetime. The boy nodded, not fully understanding, but Ethan did that night. Ethan dreamed of his mother. She stood smiling, peaceful, her hand on her chest, no words, just her heartbeat. Steady.com. Complete. Ethan woke up crying but smiling too for the first time. His goodbye no longer felt empty. Ethan had lived with grief, regret, and purpose for years. He had transformed his pain into love for others, honoring his mother's sacrifice. Yet, sometimes, late at night, he still felt her absence, a hollow space in his chest that nothing could fill, and he realized the true goodbye is never spoken with words. It is felt in silence, in memory, and in the heartbeat that lives on. One evening, while sorting through old papers in the care center, Ethan found another envelope, yellowed with age. It was his mother's handwriting. He opened it slowly. My dearest Ethan, if you are reading this, it means you are carrying my heart with you. Remember, every time you feel joy, sorrow, or love, I am there. Live fully, my son. Laugh often, love deeply, and forgive freely. Your heartbeat is mine, and mine is yours forever. Tears ran down his face. He pressed the letter to his chest. He could feel it, her presence. Quiet, but eternal. Ethan traveled back to the small park where his mother used to sit. He brought flowers, simple, bright, and full of life. He sat on the old bench and whispered, Ami, I have kept my promise. I have lived in your honor. A soft breeze passed by. It felt like her hand, gentle and warm, brushing his cheek. A whisper of reassurance, not in words, but in love. Ethan pressed his hand to his chest, feeling the steady pulse. My heart is yours. Ami, he said aloud. I carry you in everything I do, every act of kindness, every decision, every breath. The ache of her absence remained. Yes, but it was no longer emptiness, it was presence. A love eternal, a bond unbroken. Years later, Ethan became a mentor, sharing not just knowledge, but life lessons. How to love without expectation, how to value family above all, how a mother's love can shape a lifetime. Children and young adults would sit around him, wide-eyed, as he told stories of Amina, the mother who gave her life quietly, so her child could live fully. And in every story, in every memory shared, her heartbeat echoed again. One quiet evening, Ethan returned home. He placed a single candle beside her photograph. Ami, he whispered, I hope you can see me now, happy, fulfilled, and carrying your love forward. He stayed there for a long time, hands clasped, head bowed. Then he stood, took a deep breath, and whispered, Goodbye, Ami, but not forever, because you will always live in my heart. He walked away slowly, the candle flickering softly behind him. The light danced across the room, warm, gentle, eternal. Somewhere, he knew, she smiled, and in that smile, Ethan finally understood. A mother's heartbeat never dies, it lives on, in the love she leaves behind,